August 2024. We call this the EPRA Day. What do you think is going to happen? Mafuta na panda, mafuta na
You must start with the bang, must you not? Well, I mean, it's Opio Day. It's Opio Wandai Day.
It's Opio Wandai's first
yeah.
Shukisha mafuta or else.
We know where he lives.
Tutapigia baba.
Mwambie baba, huyu mtu wako.
Kufanya broad based.
Unaona hii.
Cost of living.
Tumempatia kazi mzuri.
Stress tayari.
Na sasa yeye ameanza hivi.
Cost of living. Opio Wandai akipandisha mafuta. Cost of living. Tunarudi kwa streets na sufuria kwa kichwa.
Mtungi ya
mafuta. Jerrycan. Shukisha mafuta Opio. Shukisha. Anyway, welcome to the third hour of Kenya's biggest conversation. We are glad that you're tuned in. It's Spice FM, KTN News, KTN Home, YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, Radio Garden, everywhere. People who are tuning in from across the globe, asante sana for doing so. And if you are wherever across the globe and you follow the English Premier League, I'm sure you're excited because a new season is about to begin. No, a new season has actually begun. Last Sunday, the Community Shield was the beginning of a new season. And every time there's a match, a live match, you will be listening and following those live matches on Spice FM because the Standard Group has the radio rights for the English Premier League. So Spice FM, Radio Maisha, Berur FM, Zote will be broadcasting the what? The English Premier League. Right? It's the Standard Group. It's the largest media house in Eastern Central Africa. And that's why the CEO is not just called a CEO, it's called Group CEO. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to introduce you to the Group CEO of the Standard Group PLC. Her name is Marion Mwangi. Marion, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Welcome to the hot seat of the Situation Room.
It actually feels like a hot seat right now.
Does it?
Well, it does. It's pink, really.
That's what happens to hot things.
Yeah.
They have a different color.
For sure.
But it's going to be a very engaging conversation. First up is a message from the Aga Khan University Hospital, and this is about the importance of undergoing regular, periodic, comprehensive health checks. Right? CT says, once you hit 40, please start thinking about them twice a year. Right?
Especially if you're a man.
Especially if you're a man.
Yes.
Okay. And if you're below 40?
Once a year is good. See why I single out men. Women, by the nature of their body and their being, visit hospitals very regularly. Men, healthcare seeking behavior is more or less forced. They do not often voluntarily go to seek healthcare, even if it's just a checkup.
Do women take themselves or do they take children to hospital?
No, they take themselves as well. Even when they're not thinking of having children, women take themselves to hospital. Women are hospital friendly. Men are hospital averse.
That's true, by nature.
Yes.
So for everybody, why wait for a health scare when you can take health care? 9,950 shillings. And Aga Khan is saying, come today through the year for your health checkup. Make sure you get all those, nuts and bolts tightened and screwed on properly so that you can walk through life ready.
Yes.
Go under the bonnet, make sure everything is sorted out so that you can get on the ride of life without a problem.
Something's lurking in your body and you have no idea about it. You can't know unless you go for a checkup.
Yeah.
When you hear of somebody who has suddenly gone to the ICU, they suddenly didn't go there. Whatever it is that took them there has been there all along. They just didn't know.
It's been there for a while.
Yes, it's just been gathering momentum and waiting to take hold of your life. So you don't wait until it gets there.
The other analogy is when you're about to embark on a long journey.
Yes.
Say, for example, you're doing a road trip. I've got some friends who have done a road trip to Zimbabwe, right? And before that journey, of course, they take the vehicle in for just check.
Major.
Angalia. Are the brakes fine? Are the shock absorbers fine? Is everything fine? Imekata diff, iko sawa, everything, right? Check. So when you're about to begin a big job, like the CEO of the Standard Group Center, go for a health checkup.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Aga Khan says 99.50, just go. Nearest health facility, go there. Good advice.
I
yeah.
can agree. That's good advice. It's good advice. But as City says, we do that already, voluntarily, mostly,
Yes.
with the annual checkup. You do that.
Yep, every year.
Good. Very good. Yeah.
Second thing that City is going to do is now give you the day's proverb. Every week, City goes to one African country. He mines proverbs from that country and he brings us a proverb a day.
Yes.
So for the last 3 weeks, this being the third week, he said he is going to landlocked countries of Africa. For example, Uganda is a landlocked country, Marion. Which other landlocked country would you think?
Botswana, I live there.
Aha, Botswana.
Yeah.
This is a landlocked. We were in Botswana last week.
Yes, we were in Botswana last week.
This week we are in?
We are in the Central African Republic. Unlike other African countries, they want you to be clear about who they are. They are not the Republic of Central Africa. They've cleared that one. They've told you, Central African Republic. They're not in West Africa. They've told you they're in Central Africa.
Yeah.
So there's no mistaking where they are. Central Africa Republic. Whose capital is Bangui. Someone who told me it's not pronounced Bangui, as I'm saying.
Bangi.
It's pronounced Bangi.
Bangi. And you said the country used to be called what?
The country.
Kunywa Bangi or something.
You know, Eric, sometimes you make me believe that there's very little hope of getting to understand things, but it's called Ubangi Shari.
See? Bangi na chai. It used to be called Ubangi Shari.
Ubangi Shari. Then they got the first prime minister who felt, there's a bit of a mouthful, guys, come on. Central African Republic. But at that point in time, there were some expansionist ideas he had that, they could extend beyond the boundaries that we now have.
Right.
Very wealthy country. Uranium, cobalt, gold. But in terms of the Human Development Index, that's a global index, when you look at where they stand, out of 193 countries, they're 191. So they're not doing too badly from the bottom. Yes, and it is also known to be the worst possible country on the planet that a young person can live in.
Jeez Louise.
The youth here think there's no hope. Go to Central African Republic. Not my view. That's the Human Development Index. All this wealth, and they're poor. But the thing about them that makes them unique, they were once an empire. It lasted only 3 years or so, but at least they were an empire for 3 years. Then they even had an emperor.
All right. How about that?
Yes, so they're a fairly unique country.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Proverb.
The proverb for today. If, indeed, the sun claims to have power over the moon, let it shine at night.
If the sun claims to have power over the moon, let it shine at night. Tuone. What's your interpretation of that proverb, Marion?
I think that everything has its place, and you must occupy your place at the right time, and not occupy it at the wrong time. I should actually listen to this thing in the morning. Then I would have, sort of
had
thought
some
about
leakage.
it. Yeah.
Some 2 hours to prepare.
Yeah.
94.4
Good one.
Had leakage. Yeah. But everything in its place. A place for everything in its place. I'm a Kaizen practitioner, so I'll just go for PEEP. Place for everything in its place.
Fine. The interpretation is good. You
very
understood
good
the
one.
proverb well. Yes.
It's a very good one.
Yeah.
Now, this is employee interviewing the employer. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
So, Marion, tell us about yourself. Who is Marion? Okay, you've risen and done very many things by the time you got the appointment to be the GCEO of the Standard. Where were you before this? And what have you been up to?
Actually, this is day 7. Unlike what you may think, this is just day 7, and it's quite an early time to come to the studio. But I thought, let me come in and recognize people who have been here before me, especially the women who have led and nurtured me through my career. Before I came, I was in South Africa, actually, working for the biggest oxygen and engineering company in the world, the Linde Group, producing anything you can think about in the periodic table: light gases, hard gases, argon to helium. And I think you remember that 2 years ago when we had the COVID crisis, I stood along the CS of Health just trying to save Kenya from running out of oxygen. So we also produce medical oxygen. And you cannot live your life. I mean, we talk about health today. You cannot live your life well if you're ill without purified oxygen, a raw material you find in the air, but in concentrations that you can use. But I came from that background, worked there for 2 years in South Africa, but 4 here, 6 years doing gas production, turnaround work in production processes, and trying to center the needs of the customer ahead of the engineering solutions. Because we engineers, I don't know about journalists, but engineers are experts in what they do. But at the end of the day, you have to see value from the eyes of the customer. So that's 6 years. And before that, I did a couple of things. I was managing director of Cadbury after Jane Karuku, which is the first woman I want to honor. She's been an amazing mentor. And coming after her made it just easier to lead as a woman in manufacturing of food, chocolate, these things people enjoy. Always good. And I've then served in different companies for 1,000 days on purpose. I've got the 1,000 day principle bedded down in practice and in reality. So I don't know what I'm saying about 1,000 days.
What's 1,000 days?
Yeah, what's 1,000 days?
Yes.
Yeah, 1,000 days.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
That in 1,000 days, you can make a big impact. You can influence decisions. You can influence a company or parts of a company that are not doing so well. And then after 1,000 days, if you feel that you're doing the same thing every day and not getting excitement, or you're not being triggered, or you're not meeting your mission, then you need to move and do the next 1,000 days, inside where you are or outside. I think it's a very well-documented principle. You would know about it, City.
Let me say I've read about it.
Yes.
Whether I understand it fully is a different matter.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But I have read about it.
Good.
Yes.
So if you see that my career has a couple of places that I've been. I worked in Bayer for 15 years, but 1,000 days every time in different roles. And you here have maybe your 1,000 days every time you meet a new person. So you've got excitement and variety in your work. But as a general manager, as a CEO, I've found it quite valuable to see success within 1,000-day landscape and then restart another 1,000 days.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel the 1,000 days? Because I'm sure you're not just counting physical 1, 2, 3, 4 until 1,000. There's also something else that's happening to you. How do you feel the 1,000 days? Do you feel that you're, getting to a plateau in terms of your performance, in terms of your enjoyment of the job? What is it that will define the 1,000 days beyond the calendar?
Actually, let me disappoint you. Actually, count them. So this is day 7.
So number 1,
but,
count.
But in the first 6 months or in the first 3 months, you get into a situation and understand what is that business and what value that business offer. So you sort of write off the first few, not write off, but use the first few days to do deep planning and go to the place. I'm here because I'm looking for deep planning. And then after that, just structure. What exactly do you want the end state to look like? The next 3 years, what are those things that you want to see? So when you establish a baseline within the first 3 to 6 months, and then you monitor those until the 3 years, because 1,000 days is about 3.5 years. And then check whether that's come along nicely. And before the 1,000 days, reestablish new ones. And it's a personality that accepts 1,000 days, and other people want to do, long, endless vocations. I just found, and I was taught by my father actually, this 1,000 days, that it really, really keeps me excited and keeps me at the heart of people, processes, and improvement.
Right.
Actually, it works 2 ways. Right from the time you're born, experts say that 1,000 days and the manner in which the mother and the child are nourished more or less determines how it is that child will grow. And then when that child is now born again in that child's life, the building blocks of that child's life and the foundation on which that child is going to be or what they're going to turn out to be are actually also built within that 1,000 days.
Yes.
Yes. So the 1,000-day principle is actually very profound in your life as a human being.
Absolutely. And that's where it started, actually.
Yes.
The brain forms within that 1,000
Yes.
days. And that's why it's important to just have that nurturing time.
Yeah. Do the elements matter? Because with every new 1,000 days, there are different elements that are playing out. Whether it's in a business where you have not practiced before, or in a business where you have been for a previous 1,000 days, there are people, there are processes, there are historic issues. How do those play out to then help you traverse that particular landscape?
Everything matters, and everything and every industry is so different and so unique. Media especially, I didn't actually think about what industry it would be. I just knew that I would like to be in a platform that impacts and influences a large amount of people towards the things that matter, towards values and as we say here, the voice of the people. So I'm really, this is a different industry altogether. And there's a big advantage of not knowing in the beginning, because then there's fresh eyes and there's a perspective that you draw from facts. So you've seen I've gone all the way down and I've come and I've showed up in week 2 in this Gemba, in this area, afraid but still here, to just learn this industry from the depths of it. And if I start the funny stories about the warnings that I've been told about this industry, or the encouragement from very few, makes me think, actually, I want to know. I mean, let's see. I'm boarding this bus anyway. I'm inside. Where it's going.
What have you been told?
Media is difficult. Media is puts you there in you get known by a lot of people, and that has risks, And the Standard Group, I don't know, and that will be men. That will be men mostly.
Oh yeah,
who say,
you can do it.
No. Could you tell us what is your strategy? And I haven't started really, but thank God I'm here with you, so that I can know that there's something that we'd never lose as women, and that's hope, and carrying people along. So I have been told many things. Don't ask me again, because I might reveal.
No. The beautiful thing about saying the things you've been told is the same thing that happens when we, as media practitioners or people who are in the business of media, do. We talk about things. And the perspective and the breadth of what we talk about, there is no limit to it. Yes, so what you've done right now is you've just jumped right into it. And that is the way this thing rolls. Yes.
Right, yeah, right.
And Marion, to have open conversations, obviously, you talk about the media landscape in Kenya, and look at how the media has, changed around the world. And then looking at the Standard Group, which is a very public conversation in terms of how things have been. And of course, from what you're saying, somebody would ask the question, why would you then take on such a challenge? And that's the thing. Why would you take on a challenge? Because it is currently a challenging situation. Why would you do that? And how then do you intend to traverse it?
I would, because it's right down my personal mission to impact society, to help improve the lives of people and communities and individuals as persons. So that's really a personal mission. But I would, because there's 1,000-odd people who you can multiply by 7 that are in this organization. There's more than 120 years heritage in this world. The archives are just amazing. When I went down there, I thought every company that has started in Kenya has a story written by the Standard Group. So there's some pride. I'm Kenyan. I've lived in many countries, but I love my country and I love my people. What a refreshing way to come back to the depths of something that seems to be what it is, and to really understand it factually, Because there's, as you say, city people talk, but what are the facts and what is the root cause? And what sort of bus is it? Does it have round wheels or square wheels?
Does it have an engine?
Well, the engine is still there because I walked in and the lights are on. And in previous turnarounds, I've found the lights off, the bank in. So, and I know there's this difficulty almost everywhere, but there's parts of this company and every other company that are excelling, despite what you would think, and I've seen that factually because I'm here. But this being day 7, the investigative time, getting to know you personally, coming into this hot seat, is the beginnings of finding out what are the facts actually, and how are people experiencing, and how are people enjoying or suffering for that matter, so that like the good book says that for what you reap you sow, and to the joys and to the sorrows that are there in every business or in life. Whatever you put in, you will get back. And I've come here with that intention, to be for you, for society, and for companies, not only Standard, but those others that are struggling. Ours is struggling because it's publicly known, but there's many other companies that have deep struggles that are not publicly known. So, and the courage that we have from people who have raised us is just so high that is it difficult? Take me there. If it was easy, I probably wouldn't have come. Yeah.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
You've done this kind of thing before. You've done turnarounds before.
Yes.
Would you say that there are some basic ingredients in every turnaround job? There's some things that are just, you will have these basic elements as you get into a journey of turning around an organization, a business, a culture, people.
Oh, yeah. The first one is people. You find people in a certain way. You find them either discouraged, over-discouraged, or a little bit discouraged. You find in that space, people who are really inspiring. I think you guys are inspiring. I'm not flattering you, but you're actually quite inspiring. Look at this product and how inspiring it is. So people are the biggest part of a change process, because I wouldn't do this on my own. I wouldn't, even if I took 1,000 steps alone, I would not move it. I'm just the one that comes as a servant leader and just helps people's ideas to come to fruition, and to listen to every idea and to disseminate those and run them through a funnel of what would work. Because in this case, everything is always urgent. So my learning needs to be fast, so that we can address the urgent issues and then onboard the people in a way that they believe that heritage is important. The lives of people are impacted, of employees and other stakeholders. And I'm just actually busy doing the stakeholder mapping for the Standard Group to see how impacted are all the stakeholders. So the ingredients: people, processes, and then value through the eyes of the customer.
Right. When it comes to people, even when you watch those movies and all, and in a war, when a retreating army is retreating, you'll find that there will be people who will be pointing fingers at one another in the same army. They were fighting together, but now they'll be pointing fingers at, you're the one who didn't hold the line. You're the one who did do this and the other. So you'll find a fragmented group of people. Yes, they are inspired. They'd like to stay alive because there's an army chasing after them. But they have now turned towards one another and start looking at each other and thinking, but why are we retreating? Maybe it's because maybe you're the one who did, not because it's something that I did, but because something that somebody else did. You found that, I'm sure?
Oh, yeah. The blame culture is...
so it's a natural thing?
It's natural.
Okay.
And that's the reason why when I go in, I say, why, not who. So you say, why did this happen? Honor the history, honor those who are still here, honor the success that has been seen in the past, and then ask yourself why, and that way you're not in blaming anyone. But if you find them blaming each other, all of us have families, all of us are politicians in one way or another.
Yeah.
Because if you've got children and maybe somebody who working in your house, you already are a politician. But I'm not a politician. So the blame culture is existing in your personal life and in your work life and in your public life. So just disseminating that and understanding, okay, let's discuss why other than who, so that we can get to the root cause of the problem quickly, because a problem can only be solved when it is known. And that's my current challenge right now. How do I understand the problem in a way that allows me and the team to find a solution?
Okay, let's take a break.
No more, yeah.
26 minutes to 9. We're having a conversation with Marion Mwangi. She is the group CEO of the Standard Group PLC. Day 7 on the job. Yeah. 2,000 and how many to go?
Work it out.
Yeah. So we are talking about her and her journey and, what inspires her, what keeps her going. And, of course, looking at the Standard Group and the media industry in Kenya and what contribution she believes that she can bring to the table. Keep it here for more. There's somebody who's saying, Abu, open comments. Paul J here says you remind him of the course that he's doing in management in change for MBA. Somebody else is saying that you should give us a pay rise.
Is that you?
This is The Situation